It's not a script. It's this so that I know what I'm saying. It's the IPP 230 Linguistic Clinical Project. This is my first one. I'm doing it Saturday, September 30th. It's called Laughing Buddha, and I'll send you the link. And it's by Dak Viring, V-I-R-I-N-G, I think is how you pronounce his name. Hello. Have you ever been curious or know of the man they call Laughing Buddha? Let me show you a picture. I have him on the front of my shirt. He is a very large man, very fat man, with large earrings that hang from his lobes, and this robe that he has wrapped around his middle and draped over his shoulders. He's just a very fat man, but he's a very happy man. So let me tell you about this story. Years and years and years ago, there was this fat man with these big earrings and a large walking stick. And when he walked around, he also had a bag that he had hung over his shoulder. So one day he set off in search of work. He needed to do some work. So he walked through the forest, he walked through the mountains, he saw birds flying. And then he noticed a village, so he said, yes, I can go and do my work there. So he went down to the village, where the villagers saw him and said, yes, that's Buddha. With all the respect, they bowed to him and said, yes, come into our village. So then he entered the temple, where he sat right in the middle. And the villagers all came in and bowed to him and gave him all the respect and offered him banquet tables of food. But he said, no, what I need are for the villagers to come in and tell me their stories, what is bothering them. So the first person who came in was a woman. She said, please, please help me. My husband has been flirting with this other woman. And the Buddha starts laughing at her. And she's saying, no, I'm giving you this information. I need you to look over there and see my husband. She is my best friend. And she is flirting with my husband. Please help me to stop this. But the Buddha still laughed out loud. The woman continued to get mad and says, are you understanding? Do you need me to explain this again? And she started to yell, and the louder she got, the more he laughed. He laughed harder and harder, the more angrier she became, to a point where the guards had to grab her by the wrists and take her out of the temple. But as soon as she left the temple, she became relaxed, and all of her anger was gone, and she understood. All of her anger she expressed out to him. And while he was laughing, he was taking all of her anger and putting it inside of him. And every time he laughed at her, he became fatter and fatter. So then the entire village, one by one, went in and told Buddha all of their troubles, all of their problems, to the point where he became so fat, he needed help getting up off the floor with his walking stick. He left the temple so that he could continue on his travels. And all of the villagers loved him and thanked him and told him how much they loved him. And he was a wonderful man. And he said, yes, thank you. And then he went off and left the village and searched for another one to where he could continue his work.